Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that affects every single one of us, even if we don't always see it directly: biodiversity loss. Think of our planet as a giant, intricate tapestry. Every species, from the tiniest insect to the largest whale, is a thread. When we lose a species, we're pulling a thread from that tapestry. Pull enough threads, and the whole picture starts to unravel. The richness of life on Earth is what we call biodiversity, and sadly, it's declining at an alarming rate. Scientists even talk about a sixth mass extinction, and this time, we're the asteroid. So, what's causing this massive unraveling? Today, we're going to break down the 5 primary drivers behind this global crisis. Understanding the problem is the first step toward finding a solution, so let's get started. The number one cause of biodiversity loss, by a long shot, is habitat destruction and fragmentation. This is the big one. Imagine your home was suddenly bulldozed to make way for a shopping mall, or a highway was built right through your living room. That's what's happening to countless species around the world. We clear forests for agriculture, drain wetlands for urban development, and dam rivers for hydroelectric power. When we do this, we're not just removing trees or water. We're eliminating entire ecosystems that plants and animals have adapted to over millennia. It's their grocery store, their nursery, their shelter all gone. Fragmentation is just as damaging. When we build roads or fences, we chop up large, continuous habitats into smaller, isolated patches. This makes it incredibly difficult for animals to find mates, search for food, or migrate. They become trapped in these little islands of nature, surrounded by a sea of human activity, which can lead to inbreeding and a higher risk of local extinction. Every time you see a new housing development going up where a field used to be, remember that it comes at a cost to the original residents of that land. Coming in at number 2 is overexploitation. This is a fancy term for a simple concept. We are taking more from nature than it can naturally replenish. Think of it like a bank account. If you keep withdrawing money without making any deposits, you'll eventually go bankrupt. That's what we're doing with many of our planet's species. The most obvious example is overfishing. For decades, commercial fishing fleets, sometimes using destructive methods like bottom trawling, have pulled fish out of the ocean faster than they can reproduce. This has led to the collapse of major fish stocks, like Atlantic cod, and has a domino effect on the entire marine food web. It's not just in the oceans. The illegal wildlife trade, driven by demand for things like ivory, rhino horns, exotic pets, and rare timber, pushes iconic species like elephants, rhinos, and tigers to the brink of extinction. Even plants aren't safe. Overharvesting of certain medicinal plants or rare woods can wipe out entire populations. When our demand outpaces nature's supply, the result is always the same: scarcity, and ultimately, disappearance. The third major driver of biodiversity loss is one that's becoming more and more talked about: climate change. The Earth's climate has always changed, but the speed at which it's happening now is unprecedented, and it's driven by human activities releasing greenhouse gases. Species have had millions of years to adapt to their local climates, but now, the rules are changing too fast. As temperatures rise, habitats are literally shifting. Animals and plants that are suited to cooler climates are trying to move to higher elevations or latitudes. But not all of them can move fast enough, or there might be nowhere for them to go. Think of polar bears, whose hunting grounds on the sea ice are literally melting away. Or coral reefs. Warmer ocean temperatures cause coral bleaching, where the vibrant corals expel the algae living within them and turn ghostly white, often leading to their death. A coral reef is like an underwater city, supporting a quarter of all marine species. When the reef dies, the city becomes a ghost town. Climate change also leads to more extreme weather events like droughts, floods, and wildfires, which can devastate ecosystems and the life they support in an instant. Next up, at number 4, we have pollution. Our planet is being choked by the waste products of our modern lives. This comes in many forms. There's plastic pollution, which we've all seen pictures of sea turtles tangled in plastic bags, or the stomachs of seabirds filled with plastic fragments. These plastics don't just entangle animals, they break down into microplastics that enter the food chain, from the smallest plankton, all the way up to us. Then there's chemical pollution. Pesticides and herbicides used in industrial agriculture run off into rivers and streams, harming aquatic life and the birds that eat them. Industrial waste and heavy metals can contaminate soil and water for decades, making entire areas toxic. Even things we don't always think of as pollution can have a huge impact. Light pollution from our cities can disorient migrating birds and nocturnal animals. Noise pollution from ships and sonar can interfere with the communication of marine mammals like whales and dolphins. Essentially, we are altering the chemical and physical composition of the environment in ways that many species simply cannot tolerate. Finally, our 5th major cause is the spread of invasive alien species. This happens when a species of plant, animal, or even a fungus is introduced into an environment where it doesn't naturally occur. Sometimes this is accidental, like rats hitching a ride on a ship. Other times, it's intentional, like when people release unwanted exotic pets into the wild. Because these newcomers didn't evolve in their new home, they often have no natural predators or diseases to keep their populations in check. This gives them a massive competitive advantage. They can outcompete native species for food and resources, prey on them directly, or introduce new diseases. A classic example is the brown tree snake in Guam, accidentally introduced after World War II. It has wiped out most of the island's native forest bird species. In our interconnected world, where goods and people travel across the globe in a matter of hours, the risk of introducing invasive species is higher than ever. Each new arrival has the potential to completely disrupt a balanced, native ecosystem. So, there you have it. Habitat loss, overexploitation, climate change, pollution, and invasive species. These are the 5 horsemen of the biodiversity apocalypse. It's a heavy topic, I know, but here's the crucial part. These are all human-caused problems, which means they have human-led solutions. We can protect and restore habitats, manage our resources sustainably, transition to cleaner energy, reduce our waste, and be more careful about transporting species. It requires a global effort from governments and corporations, but it also involves choices we make every day. By being conscious consumers, supporting conservation efforts, and raising our voices for the planet, we can help start reweaving that beautiful, intricate tapestry of life. We are the generation that stands at this critical crossroads, and the future of millions of species, including our own, depends on the path we choose to take. Thank you so much for joining me today to discuss this incredibly important issue. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more content about our amazing planet. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next video. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments below. Stay curious, stay engaged, and I'll see you in the next one.